Guys, I'm going to be saying a bad word in a second on my case because I'm just so mad. So you'll hear a beep. So I'm just going to put the thing down, but you'll hear a little beeping sound. So no worries, I'm fine. Oh, what?
Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. My name's Lissa and you're watching Lissa is Here.
Hello, editing Lissa here. I just wanted to make a quick public service announcement and apologize for the state of my hair. It was atrocious. I couldn't see it. This is my formal apology. I am gonna go drown now. Bye. Enjoy the video. Ignore my hair. Okay, that's it.
Lissa is Here.
Thanks.
Thank you so much for joining us for today's video. Now, if you've already judged by the title of this episode, or of this video, today's video is going to be my top 10 my top 10 best advice for any inspiring writers from a teen writer. My top 10 best tips and tricks, basically. So let's get right into it. Tip number 1, first draft doesn't need to be perfect. Sometimes, if I'm being completely honest, messier is better. Your first draft is not about perfection. You aren't trying to reach for the stars. You're not looking to publish your first draft. My God, my first draft is a mess. It's a disaster. It's just info dumping, basically. You need to be absolutely crazy. You dump anything and everything you can into your first draft because it's just the formulation of the story that you're coming up with and trying to, put into words. So it doesn't matter what way you write your first draft. No one's gonna see it but you. Hopefully. I hope you're not going and publishing your first draft. They usually suck because they're supposed to. Either way, don't stress your first draft too much, or don't stress over your first draft too much. It's not that important to have it all clear and precise right from the get-go, okay? Some people might prefer that. I don't, though. Tip number 2, and this kind of transitions from tip number 1, is write an outline. I cannot begin to stress to you enough how important an outline for your book is. To put it this way, I didn't write an outline for my first book until 1.5 years into writing it. Spoiler alert, that was only about 3 months ago when I finally wrote an outline. Because I didn't realize how important they were because I didn't learn it, So that's why I'm telling you, outlines are so important. All the neat little details and way the story's supposed to go, you dump that in there. So you can just be insane in your first draft of the story. And then any conciseness you figure out through that process, you add to your outline. And then, when it's time to work on draft 2, 3, 4, however many drafts you want to work on, then you have this clear, nice, little, pretty, organized outline of the beats and the elements of the story and how they're supposed to formate themselves, basically. So when it's time to edit and work, then you have this outline to follow. So you can basically take this jumbled up mess and turn it into something intelligible. Either way, outlines are a lifesaver and just help you figure out a lot of things. So I definitely recommend writing an outline. My third tip for you guys is make playlists of your characters or for your characters. Also, make Pinterest boards. Okay, so playlists full of music that you think could relate to your character, or that your character could relate to, or that has lyrics that really just matches your character's personality, or songs you think they would listen to, or both mixed up. Love it. Love, love, love. It really helps you get into the mindset of your character and who they are. Ooh, would they like this song or would they like that song? This is perfect. Yeah, so I definitely recommend that. And then Pinterest boards can help with that world building and character building element so much. Of create boards for the characters, add things that matches their aesthetic, or physical appearance of what you thought of them so far. Different things like that are very, very helpful for character building. My God, so important. It was one of the very first things I did, and it helped so much. Number 4, you don't have to be an avid reader to be a good writer, but it definitely can help. Now, there's a lot of fantastic authors and writers out there who don't like reading for one reason or another, whether they're dyslexic or have ADHD or both, or they just don't like reading. And it's entirely fair, you know? Some people have aphantasia. I have aphantasia, but I still love reading. If you don't know what aphantasia is, here's the definition on the screen right now. Basically, it's really hard to get into stories sometimes when you have aphantasia. It depends on the severity of it. Either way, reading a lot can help you understand writing. It can help you understand, you know, understand how to write dialogue, for example. So it can definitely, it would be a big help, but it's not necessary. So if you want to be a writer, you know, but you don't want to, but you're not much of a reader, you know, that doesn't mean you can't be a writer. And if you're not wanting to write like actual books, there's other things you can write, like screenplays, you know, directing. That's another huge interest of mine that I'm like really interested in doing one day. Tip number 5, do not, and I cannot begin to tell y'all enough, do not write if you do not feel like it that day. Don't burn yourself out by forcing yourself into writing when you're just not in the headspace. Because, you know, depending on the book, like I write some pretty heavy stuff. Sometimes it can become a lot for me, constantly being like in this negative headspace, writing every single day for anywhere from 3 to 8 hours a day, depending on how I'm feeling. It can be really, really difficult to get into that and always be in it, especially if you already struggle with your mental health, like me, because the last thing you want to do is burn yourself out. Your creativity is so important for this, and you do not want to lose your passion. So yeah, make sure do not write if you do not feel like it. Tip number 6, listen to something that helps you get into the headspace for when you are feeling right to write. Feeling right in the headspace to write. I'm funny, I know. I write dark type, psychological, fantasy type novels with characters who go through a lot of mental health issues, and because of that, I listen to a lot of true crime because it's something that helps me basically focus. I'm not getting distracted because I have ADHD and all that, so my head gets all jumbled up with what I'm trying to do. So having a clear, I'm listening to this and I'm writing this, my hands are distracted and my mind is distracted, creativity here, mental energy basically away, whole thing. I heard a weird noise. For me at least, it really helps to be able to have like a routine to follow for when you're writing, whether it's like, you know, chugging a cup of water before you write, or saying a prayer if you're religious and want to pray, or like, you know, eating right before you write to like make sure you're like satiated and putting that energy into writing. Just something, you know, like eating rewards for after you're done writing. Like if you like playing video games, then you know, all right, I spend a few hours writing and then I get to play video games, you know. Different things like that can really, really help keep you motivated. Tip number 7. This one took me a very long time to learn. Do not, under any circumstance, delete anything you write from your drafts. You will grow to regret it. I kid you not. For the first like year of writing, I could not get past a certain point in my book because every time I would get to that point, I'm like, this doesn't make sense, and so I would delete everything. and start again, and then again, and then again. I'm like, my writing sucks. I need to do it again and again and again. You're just never gonna get out of that eternal hellscape that is just deleting and rewriting and deleting and rewriting. Don't do it. Just don't. Again, first draft, don't worry about it. It's fine. You can edit it later. You do not need to touch that. Just don't. Tip number 8, you think you are done writing, you probably need to try writing more. Your story can always be more fleshed out. You can always add more, because you can always delete stuff, but it's a lot harder to add more stuff to the story than it is to like delete stuff afterwards and take it out, you know what I mean? So I would just say write down as much as you can of everything you can, every neat little detail if you want, because having it is better than not having it, because you never know what types of stories you want to create in the world you're creating after. Anyways, you know, like if you want to have a spin-off series or a novella, like anything like that, it could be really, really cool to be able to have this for later. It can be very helpful in that way too. So if you think you are done writing, Godspeed, my friend, you are not. Tip number 9. We're almost at the finish line, y'all. When you are getting to the editing stage, spoiler alert, I am not at the editing stage, but this is what I'm gonna be doing, so we're doing this together. Okay, when you get to the editing stage, put that sis down for at least a month. I'm begging, because you need to get a fresh perspective, a fresh pair of eyes on the project. So you don't want to start editing it right away, because then you're not gonna like what you've done with it. It's too fresh in your mind. You need to be able to read it from a more outside type of perspective where you're not as closely attached to it. You still are, obviously. It's your project. It's your baby. You just like built it with your own 2 hands and a keyboard. Unless you use a typewriter. If you use a typewriter to write, you are absolutely amazing, and I love you for it. Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. Either way, put it down for at least a month. I mean, famous authors are known to do that. A certain one who wrote a certain clown horror movie who I don't like, so I'm not saying his name. You can probably figure it out. Or he wrote the book and then it got turned into a horror movie, but it's about a clown, and yeah. Either way, that's my 9th tip. And finally, the most important tip I have for beginner writers is remember to have fun. If you are wanting to be a published author one day, this is very likely a dream project. Something you've spent so much blood, sweat, and tears on and put so much hard work and energy into that it feels like your child. I understand that. I feel that about my book. I love my projects. They mean so much to me. But don't pressure yourself and don't try to, speed through it, because you shouldn't be in a rush. I don't care about publishing agencies and urgency about all of that. It will happen when it happens. Remember, rushing makes for sloppy writing, and sloppy writing makes for a bad book. Do not make something you are not proud of. Do not rush through something that you know could be better. Listen to editors. Fix what needs to be fixed. Use test readers. Whatever route you go with your books, it's very important to have made sure you've done as much as you want, because you don't want to look back one day and be like, I could have done that so much better. Which you will always feel like that with anything regarding your projects like this, but don't undersell yourself is what I'm basically trying to say, because if you know you are capable of better, you should always try to do the best you can for yourself, because you deserve it. You deserve to have all your wildest dreams come true, as long as it doesn't hurt yourself or anybody else. I believe in you, and I hope this video helped someone out there at least. I know a lot of writers follow me or know of me, and I hope more of them see this and decide they like my vibes, my energy. I hope they decide that I'm kind of somewhat funny, entertaining wise, something, and decide to stick around. I have a lot of weird content over here, a mixed variety of content, depending on how I'm feeling and what I can actually achieve that day. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!